Hi, thank you for inviting me. I'm very pleased to be here. So I'm Grégoire Deberdt. I'm working both on spatial interventions and documentary projects, usually like in collective approach with filmmakers and artists and architects. But I will present today a project that is self-initiated and that I'm doing so far by myself. This is also why I'm here, because I'm looking for new collaboration. So this project called Diasporic Ties is a project that focuses on the city of Pristina and to try to watch and collect how it's linked with the diaspora that comes back every year, and to see how it's linked with their migrations and remittances. It's a project that uses two main mediums, which are documentary photography and audio recordings. I wanted to take this presentation a bit upside down and to really first dive into a place. And so let me bring you to Bazaar, which is 10 kilometers northwest from the city of Pristina. I don't know if you can hear.
Voilà, le voisin qui est là-bas. Il n'y en a pas de porte pour rentrer chez lui. Il y en a un d'autres rues. Je sais s'ils ne sont pas là. Ils vivent en Allemagne. Si un jour il y en a un mariage, exemple, chez mon cousin, il invite tout le monde. Où je laisse. Comme ça, nous on va tous là-bas. Il y en a un chambre à coucher pour tout le monde. Comme ça, pour 1 nuit, 2, 3, pour pas de courir au hôtel ou quelque chose comme ça, pour perdre de temps. Voilà, ça c'est cousin qui habite en Allemagne. Et quand on vient, son jardin, tout est coupé, tout est propre. Même chez moi, quand je suis venu, tu as vu, garçon qui construit, il a coupé les herbes. Oui, quand je viens, je rentre chez moi et je ne regarde rien du tout. Voilà où est voiture qui vient de New York.
So this was one of the first characters of the project, which is Muharram. He's been living in this city of this town of Bazaar since his childhood, living in the family plot. But then when he was 14 in 1999, he had to leave. He first went to Germany and for 1 year with his 2 children, and then he went to Belgium, where he still lives now. And since 2003, he comes back every year and for the summer, and with his family they build their houses, and that's it. And when you go a bit to the surrounding of this house, you realize like it seems quite an ordinary town, but then there are some houses that looks bigger, and you start to have some clues of the relation with other countries abroad. Like, for example, this house with all the cars that are registered in Germany and Switzerland. So I wanted to bring you to this a bit into this thing, because the context of it was in last year that I was personally interested in the contemporary European issues, mainly about border redefinition, the feeling of belonging in Europe, and migrations, and somehow I think most of the discussion were a lot about Brexit and so, but at the same time there was also something happening in Kosovo that Kosovo was discussing with Serbia about the border redefinition and so, and I started to get interested in it, and doing some research I realized that it's a very specific country, that actually more than 30% of the population lives abroad, mainly in Germany and in Switzerland, but also in Austria and Sweden and in Belgium and so forth. This graphic, it will be the only graph, but it's the only one figure is watched is the 16%. It's actually the part of the GDP that comes from the remittances in Kosovo, and it's only the visible part of it. It might be even bigger, and it actually irrigates so much the economy, and most of it is invested in the construction and real estate sector. And if you look at different pictures of the city since 20 years, it has been like so developed, especially in the margins of it. This is, for example, in the southwest of Pristina.
I hear this narrative quite a lot. You have 800,000 diaspora people who have a link with Kosovo, and they come every summer here. And apparently, only as tourists, they bring around 1 billion. So, but when they come, they want to have their own apartment where they stay and stuff, and they see it as an investment as well. So it's also their way of investing in Kosovo and helping the country and all this.
There is a backlog of apartments, and you can see it. If you go at the night and you see how many lights, let's say 8 o'clock p.m., and see how many lights are turned on and turned off, you can see that there is I don't know for whom they're building. That's what I'm saying. I mean, are they promising that the population will boom again, or what?
Basically, plans for Pristina to have around 1 million inhabitants, which is impossible. And this was voted, I think, in 2013 or 14, something like that. So now every plan that's being issued, every permit that's been issued, every plan, everything's being planned for 1 million inhabitants. But in reality, Pristina has around 300,000 at best. On my floor, from out of 5 apartments, only 2 are inhabited. But they have owners. You cannot actually buy them. And I think there is a bubble. I don't know if it ever burst, but it's interesting to see because money just keep coming.
Investment is not all about emotions. I mean, you could have a factor in, say, no, this is my home country, I would like to go there. But like, if it doesn't make business sense, why would you go there?
I think everyone from the diaspora is very disappointed because, I mean, even my parents, their idea was, and I think most of the diaspora people, the idea was to come back. Because everyone had this overwhelming joy and hope that this is going to be a country, a free country, as they always imagined. And then everyone, of course, said, I'm gonna buy a house and I'm going to come back because this is what makes sense. But it didn't happen.
So this was the first series of interviews I did. It was also a way to be humble with the subject that actually I didn't know anything before, and to really start to get the understanding of it, to collect it. And the other part of it is documentary photography, and it's really to try to capture a bit the really special aspect of it, either in the periphery of Pristina and really the rural parts, but also at the margin where you can have sometimes very radical and brutal confrontation between the different areas of the city, and to have also like very specific situations, and also to collect bits about the geopolitical and the political context of it. So just to finish the project, it's really an ongoing project, and it's this phase of collection of material. I'm not, I mean, the format is really still open. I would be really happy to speak with you actually about it. I'm interested in publication, exhibitions, even podcasts and workshops. I think all the formats could be great to do something. But in any kind of format, I really believe in this way of building narratives, and I'm a bit like I'm thinking about narrative. I think many presentation, and we will speak a lot in these days about narratives, but I believe in very back to basics somehow narrative building with characters, scenes, and dialogues, and very structural beginning, series of event and hand. And I'm saying so because also like this working on non-fiction narrative, I believe is a way really to work with complexity and contradictions and mix sometimes like very things that don't merge, like feelings and economy and social, everything can really merge. I will not present this, and so that's it. I'm done. Thank you very much.